Here we are.
Toot, baby, it's time to ride the funk train, and I got big news for all my pretty boys and pretty girls all across the lands. It is time to celebrate John Stoll II, Silverback, the Pro System Gamer,
Oh,
the Atari Network, the man with more names than Satan himself, has got himself 1,000 subscribers.
yeah.
Congratulations. We need some effects. And I got you a
Right.
present. I got two naked
look at that.
wrestlers.
Just the way.
Figure four leg lock. So you
That's
always think of me.
There you go.
I'll mail that to you directly. Congratulations.
Well, thank you. I appreciate it. Yeah, it was exciting. I posted my video. I had a lot of great guests and well wishes. A lot of friends sending videos congratulating me. I don't know if you saw that.
Oh yeah, you had Donald Trump.
Yeah, well,
little polarizing figure, especially right now. But you also had Gilbert Godfrey, who was dead.
Godfrey. Yeah, well, he came back to life just to congratulate me
from beyond the grave. Yeah, there was a host of who else? Matthew Perry. Who else died that you had come back to?
Yeah, they were coming out of the woodwork. It's crazy. You don't think.
They're excited. There's a fever. There's a fervor. There's a furry, but we won't talk about your sex life.
Yep.
But congratulations, you're already monetized, making the big bucks.
Oh yeah,
58 cents today.
Yep, that's right.
And you're putting. Thank you. You're putting. Now you're trying to get me boosted up. I'm the old mentor. I feel like I'm the old hack in the Rocky movies or whatnot. I'm the guy that's like, eat. I'm like, I got you to where you are. Now you're trying to help me like stay alive and have health insurance. I appreciate it.
Right. I thought you were going to talk about the big news. The 2600 Plus is out. Did you see that?
Well, who cares about that? I care about you.
Yeah.
I care about you, John.
I appreciate it.
Well, did you get your 2600 Plus?
No, I didn't. No.
Okay.
No, the people that got them ordered, it seems like the ones that ordered from Amazon got them. So if you ordered from Atari.com, you have to wait a while, I guess.
Man, I'm telling you, what are they doing? They're shooting themselves in the foot yet again.
Yeah, well, I don't know when mine's coming anyway. I messed around a little too much with them. I accidentally bought 2 units, and then I had to get a refund on one, and then they refunded me on both, and then.
Hey, can I tell you something?
Yeah.
I once knew a guy with 2 units. He made a lot of money in the adult film industry. Let's just say that.
There you go.
It's very popular.
I bet. But
what? So you don't? Did you order from Atari as well?
Yeah, I was ordering direct from Atari, so I wouldn't have mine anyway. I don't think, but yeah, the people that ordered on Amazon, they have theirs. A lot of information rolling in on it. I mean, people seem pretty happy with it, to be honest.
Okay.
I hear PAL games, the European stuff, works great on it from what I've heard. I think the colors are correct on it if you have PAL cartridges.
Well, wait a minute. Now, does that mean the PAL version of the 2600 Plus over in Europe that's doing well? Or is it... Or can Americans play the PAL games on this thing too?
Well, I believe you have to have the correct screen. You have to have a PAL format TV screen.
So the Europeans are having a big shindig with it.
Yeah, they seem to like it. I've seen a couple people in the Netherlands were talking about it. But I know some Americans have it too. It's just Amazon was shipping it out. Actually, I'll throw this up here. Yeah, Amazon sent them out early. I don't know why, but they just shipped them out.
Hey, just screw everybody. Just screw Atari.
Right.
Make Atari look like they're goofy again.
Yep.
They don't need help sometimes with that.
No, but yeah, PAL stuff's working good on there. There's a couple third-party games that I've heard don't work. Nothing major, just a few odds and ends. There's supposed to be a firmware already in the works to fix that, I guess. And
I heard Rampage 7800 was one.
Yep. And supposedly a lot of homebrew aren't working either right now.
We're going to have to, over the break, because we're going to keep doing the podcast. We may take 1 week off. We're going to have to really sit down with a therapist and see why you never pluralize the word homebrews. Is that a Canadian thing? You're so close to Canada, they don't
I guess
pluralize?
so.
Okay. Point to where the homebrew hurt you.
Right. But yeah, they're the home brews aren't working very well, I guess. But again, from what I hear, Albert's been testing a ton of that stuff, and I think they already have a firmware in the works, so, or a firmware update that should fix a lot of that. So,
and this is not an Atari product, though, right?
No, it is.
No, I mean, I thought somebody else made it. Oh, it is? No, I'm thinking of the freaking
No, this
game.
is.
What am I thinking of?
You're thinking of the My Arcade Atari Game Station Pro.
How's that doing?
Good. I haven't touched mine since I made the video, but people who need it, I think, are enjoying it.
Is this so? Do you suspect the 2600 Plus to be superior to that?
Oh yeah, definitely.
Okay.
Well, I guess it depends what you're looking for. If you want to be able to play a lot of ROMs, just download them and load them up somewhere, you'll probably want the Game Station Pro, because not only can you do 2600, 7800, 5200, 5200 games that don't require a lot of keypad presses, that is. You can also do NES, Sega Master System, Sega Genesis, Game Boy Color, Game Boy Advance, Arcade. So if you want to just emulate a ton of stuff, you want the Game Station Pro. But if you have cartridges and you want to, pop in cartridges, you want the 2600 Plus, I think.
And here's my twisted brain on this.
Okay.
Our beloved, because right now behind me, John, beautiful, a 40-year-old, maybe getting close, a 7800 from Atari back in the day, is showing this beautiful game here with disco lights all around. Are these 2600 Plus is going to last longer than our ancient, nearly 50-year-old Atari systems? That's what I'm curious about, because they don't make shit as good as they used to. Yeah.
I don't think they'll last longer. No.
So it's like,
I mean, they'll be fine for people that want to play stuff now. I mean, they should last a long time. How much can really fail on those? I mean, they're probably one tiny circuit board, a couple of chips, and the cartridge slot, and a couple old DIMM connectors. So
and a couple of drunk elves pulling the pulleys inside.
So they'll probably I wonder how heavy. I wanted to get mine so I could see how heavy it feels and compare it to a real console. But I guess it is a real console. But
we'll have something to talk about next time.
Yeah,
because maybe the people that watch this episode have we've purported this as almost a heavyweight fight, because now and this is what I suppose is Atari's last big game release of the year. I could be wrong about the Atari VCS, but we know of nothing else coming down the pike, right? I mean, they had Haunted House, Berzerk Recharged, they released another roller coaster game, so, and not even for their own system, which is another question mark. Right. So we have Berzerk Recharged, and there's a myriad of opinion. Right. And we were going to discuss, if you only had to have one, this Frenzy from Bob Decrescenzo. Look at them yellow goofballs there. This is a 10-year-old game.
Is it already 10?
Wow. Already. Well, I need to get another. I'll give it another. I'll go to the store and get another couple of these guys.
There you go.
I'll give it to that for its birthday. But so what are we doing here? Are you going to bat for one or the other? Which if you had Berzerk versus Frenzy, which one would you go for?
I imagine you want to represent Berzerk, right? Since you're the world record holder for.
I'm number 3 now. I haven't played it somebody
with the same score, or is it a higher score yet?
Same score. I actually tried. Okay. I'm trying different ways. The cool thing about the Berzerk Recharge game is you only have one leaderboard for the arcade, but there's probably, I have to do the math, probably about 9 or 10 different ways to try to achieve that score, because they have 3 alternative point multipliers that you could either have on or off. And when you select those on this particular game, it handicaps your player.
Yeah.
So I reached my score. This is a little inside here. This is for you guys who are hip on the Atari Network or the Big and Funky Productions YouTube page. We'll give you a little hit. My score, which was number 1 in the world and is still number 3, I achieved that with all the point modifiers on, all the handicaps activated. So it was Iron Man, or whatever they called it, with one guy, no power-ups and no dash. Okay. And with that, now you've played Recharge games before, they're giving away a whopping 100% bonus on each of those handicaps, which some games only have like a 2.5 bonus.
Right, yeah.
For some of those, even the same types of handicaps. But I've been horsing around with trying to take the Iron Man off and the dash. Well, actually, excuse me. Taking Iron Man off and then leaving the no dash, no power up.
Right.
But because I'm like, if I only make a couple of mistakes, can I go past? And I still can't eclipse my score, even though I go further into the game.
Right.
So I think for me, I think it's this game, the Berzerk Recharge. It's all about the leaderboards. There's a lot of people who are poo-pooing on some of the elements, like the audio is a big deal. Apparently, nostalgic guys. Exactly. No dash is easy.
That's what I was going to say. That's a given. You might as well just take that right off, because
there's no need for it. The only reason you need dash is because around wave 30, Evil Otto is fast.
Yeah.
And you can dash through bullets like Neo in the Matrix, but we go back to saying this game is too fast anyway. Right. And there's a bug in the game where if you're flying through the exit and you come into another room, your man's going to keep going until the screen resets. So
did you see the update today? Oh, you said you haven't messed with it, have you?
Is there an update now? I've been kind of busy today.
So it seems like to me, I played it for like 20 minutes before we started here. It seems like they fixed that with the update.
That's crucial.
I didn't experience that once, but maybe I got lucky. I don't know. But that's the only difference I saw on the update. Hey, Jerome. Hey,
Jerome!
Meridia.
Get the mirror, Jerome. I need to check my dude. Yeah, baby. We're Siamese twins joined at the hip. Let's get it funky, Jerome. Anyway, it's an old Morse Day and a Time reference. But anyway. So, one of my complaints, I have a review up on my channel, the Big and Funky Productions YouTube channel. Please like and subscribe and go there so I can be as popular as John one day. And on my review, I praise it. I give it about a 3.5 out of 5, which is a pretty good score.
Yeah.
But today people were like, "Hey, it's too high of a score. You're being too generous." And I'm like,
"Really?
It is a fun game." A lot of people think it's a 3. I think it's a 3.5. I think it's a good game, and I think the leaderboards is what saves that game and makes it fun, because you're trying to get up the ladder, and it's a universal board.
I guess so, but if you're not interested in the leaderboard, I could see their point where it's a 3, because you got to think not everybody's going to be interested in the leaderboard. Some people are okay with, just aren't competitive like that. So maybe for those people, maybe it makes sense.
I guess, but I think all the Recharge games benefit from that, because
absolutely.
I was going through and I was looking at, and what's confusing me is I'm so awesome on some of these games and I'm so low on some others, and I'm like, I don't understand, where the difference is. So it's like I'm going to go back to some of these other games and try to get my scores up.
Right. Real quick, Jerome, we started out talking about the 2600 plus. When you say email, do you mean that it's on its way, or that you got it? Did you order from Atari? I guess is my question, or Amazon. I'm just curious. Anybody in the comments, just drop that in if you get a minute. I'm curious to see who got it, who didn't, and where you ordered from.
It's got a little cinnamon in it.
Ooh, cinnamon.
Yeah, she always likes coming in, and she's like, I'm behind the scenes, but she always likes bringing me food just so she can kind of get the greatness. These fembots, I got to reprogram them. But so I like Berzerk Recharged, and so you can go to the YouTube page and see my full review. It's like a 14-minute review. I go really in depth on a game that's really not that deep. But I think the leaderboards, the missions are some strengths. I think the graphics are kind of weird. I don't know why I don't like them, but they're too cartoony or something. It's too fast. And I think I echo a lot of people's complaints that the evil Otto or whoever that the voice is, their voice needs to be louder in the game.
Oh, and that's the other thing with the update. I think you'll have to listen to it because the first few times I played, I had it on mute for whatever reason. I forget why. But today I had it up pretty loud, and I could actually hear the robots for the first time, I think, ever since I got it. So they might have adjusted some of the audio, too, with the new update. Don't quote me on that, but I heard them much clearer.
I had to turn all the music down, which is a shame because the music's pretty good.
Right.
The laser gun is way too loud, and it almost sounds like dubstep. It's like ooch, 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 because I just lay on the blaster the whole time. I don't sit there and like pew, pew. And then, oh my God, he's been pissed. Oh, I thought the Lord got you or something.
Yep,
I thought the rapture happened.
It can disappear
in Toledo.
That's
a terrible. Terrible. No, you're good. Your hat's up. There you go.
Okay, there we go. See, I spin my head around in circles, so.
There you go. That's a terrible superpower. I always thought invisibility, you still get shot or whatever.
Right, yeah, you're just invisible.
Yeah, and you got to take all your clothes off, and if you lose your power, you're going to be on the sex predator list, right?
Yep. Obsidian agrees. He thinks the voice is louder now. So, yeah, I think they must have saw your review, Vinny, because they up the sound.
I'm telling you, they are listening. They are listening to us. They need to give us free games to review, damn it.
Right.
I mean, we're fucking sexy. So maybe it's because I say words like fucking sexy. They're not going to give us any free games. Yeah. But they want this to be PG. By the way, the robot put cinnamon in the coffee, and I have no idea why.
I heard that. Yeah.
It doesn't taste good. But don't tell her that. No. What the hell?
Man. Was it straight cinnamon?
It's just a mug of cinnamon.
Right, yeah.
So I give Berzerk Recharged a 3.5 out of 5, which on our website, Atari7800forever.com, it ranks as good. How would you rank Berzerk Recharged?
Probably based off of our scoring system at Atari7800forever.com. Probably a 3. I think I would agree with the people saying a 3, I think. But that's just me.
Well, elaborate. Why? You just want to be in with them, or you have reasons?
No, I don't know. I like the game. I think it's a decent game. I don't think it's quite grabbed me the way maybe it seems like it grabbed you. I played it here and there. I don't feel compelled to return to it like I did with yours, Recharged, or even Gravatar. I like to come back to that, Recharged. I don't know. It's something about it. I don't know if it's the extra step of pulling the trigger. Like, okay, when you shoot in a twin stick shooter, I'm used to just moving with one stick, pointing the other, and you shoot. And in this game, you have that extra step, and it kind of throws me off a little bit sometimes. But I don't know, not enough that I would count it against the game, I guess. And I don't think it's a good Berzerk game, if that makes sense. I think it's a decent game. I don't think it's a good Berzerk game, if I had to be honest. But I have no idea how they could have made it better. So I am hesitant to
slow it down.
Say that.
It's too fast.
Probably that. Yeah, probably.
It's too fast. And okay, let's talk about this for a second. Berzerk was the first game. Frenzy behind me was the second game.
Yep.
This is technically an Atari release, and since Atari owns this thing now, this is the third game.
Yep.
Why not implement some rooms having some of the attributes of the Frenzy game, shooting through walls? I think one of the coolest things about Frenzy is that you can shoot through walls. And here's something I didn't allude to in my original review, and I should have. Every time I do a video, I watch it and go, God damn, I didn't say this.
Right.
One of the biggest problems I have with Berzerk Recharged, again, I like the game, but Evil Otto is supposed to be chasing you.
Yep.
And he's supposed to be coming from your starting location.
Right. Yep. Wherever
in the
you came
maze.
from.
And the reason is it forces you to move away from where you are.
Right.
It's one thing you can be sitting there going, pew, pew, I got you. And you're shooting all this shit. And if he comes from over here, I was never over here in the first place. He's not a menace. If he's coming from where I was, I got to move. And then I have to think. I have to survive and get to a corner, fight for a few seconds so I can get the hell out. And the great thing about Frenzy is you can shoot through the walls and create your own escape routes, which is really cool. And the other thing is a little easier on this game too. There is an exit every time at each quadrant. Yeah. In Frenzy, sometimes that wasn't the case, or in Berzerk, sometimes that wasn't the case.
I think you're right there. I think I was hoping, and again, I don't know if it's just me, but Evil Otto feels very much not like a threat until you get towards the very late stages. But I'd like for when he entered the room in Berzerk or Frenzy, you were kind of like, oh shoot, I messed up.
You got to get out. You got to get out. And here he follows. It's like a guy at the bank. He's just following the little cow trail up to the teller. I like I said in my review, I want him to have a Kool-Aid moment. And with these graphics and stuff, it would be great. I'm Kool-Aid. Boom, boom. Bust through the, have shit flying. Have shit flying around.
I was surprised when he didn't, because I thought for sure he'd at least, even if they didn't have an animation, I thought he'd skip through the walls and just go right for you. So I was surprised he had to go around the wall to get you. And
like I said in my review, it puts a skirt on Evil Otto.
Yep.
They reduced the fear, and that's what they're using Evil Otto as their mascot from that game.
Yeah.
The other thing is too, I thought the guy had a cool like rockabilly redheaded pompadour, and then when you look closely, you're like, oh, he's just like wearing an M. Bison hat. That's all. He's like a little dork.
But no, I don't think it's bad at all. Like he said, there's a couple. I just wish it was better, I guess. I don't know.
I think it's good, and I think somebody said they like the missions. I think that's the missions are really avant-garde titles. They're always weird things like I ate a fish today, and it's like, what the fuck does that mean? And you look, it's like you scored 100,000 points. You're like, why does it say that? Those are all cool. The leaderboards are great. The graphics, like the presentation is fantastic. I love what the Recharge. So I'm not disappointed. I was scared when we saw that it was going to be a twin stick game.
Right.
I was really worried that it was going to suck. And it did change the game from being Berzerk into a twin stick shooter. Now, somebody has also said, and I keep cutting you off and I'll let you talk because I apologize. Somebody has also said that they've done an update on the classic controller, which makes it like not Icarus, Atari Warriors. Did you hear about that?
No, I didn't hear about that. Well, now I'll have to try that again.
Because I love that option. It's just the guy. It's just too slow.
Yeah,
it's too he's like dancing like I do when I'm drunk. It's terrible. You gotta shoot fast in that game.
Oh yeah, absolutely. Yeah, you have to move quickly, especially in that version. I don't know. I agree with you too. I was expecting more elements of Frenzy in there. I was surprised when you couldn't shoot through the walls. Go ahead.
What I was trying to amend them to all that is Frenzy's awesome because they have different types of control rooms.
Yep.
So wouldn't you could have, with 2023, all the space that you can make a game like this, you could have made every 8 rooms could have been an elaborate, crazy ass boss room that would have. If you're going to not make a Berzerk game, have it to where you have to grab a key card and come over here. Or there's an actual conveyor belt moving with the robots, and there's so much fun stuff they could have added. that they didn't. Now, that's not saying they can't come out. Atari can't come out in a year and released Frenzy Recharged.
Yeah, right.
And that would have been, then we're like, okay, now we're seeing. And the thing about Frenzy, we'll get to Frenzy here in a minute because we're having a Bob Decrescenzo versus the world moment. But, Frenzy looks terrible. So, I mean, they can definitely fix things going forward. Is there anybody in the chat saying anything one way or the other about Berzerk here?
Well, yeah, we have, again, Jerome. He feels they dropped the ball. But he definitely Berserk's his favorite, and he'll end up getting it regardless.
It's a good game, but it's
would
also $9.
Right.
Just buy it. It's good.
Yeah, it's the price of a Big Mac value meal. So
or a cinnamon coffee, apparently.
Or a cinnamon coffee. Yep. Apparently, Berzerk Enhanced still hasn't shipped, so people are waiting on their copies of that.
I need to order that. I'm actually looking forward to that.
I don't think you can you?
Yeah.
Isn't it sold out?
No, not for me.
Oh.
I know people.
There you go.
I slipped a guy a $5 on the way into the club.
But yeah, we got a comment. Jolt has the Frenzy Berzerk homebrew, but he hasn't played Recharge. So
what's wrong with you? Well, we'll play along at home here, and we compare the two.
Yep. Okay, so
yes, sir. You ready to switch over?
You want to switch over
to Frenzy?
Yeah, let's switch over to Frenzy here.
All right.
So, what I always liked about the Frenzy that Bob did there was obviously, and I guess I wasn't quite expecting it. Maybe I should have, but you have both games in one in his release, which they're similar games, but they're different enough, honestly, that it's nice to have both. And all things considered, I think I like Berzerk a little bit better than Frenzy. Even though Frenzy's the marquee game on the cartridge, there's something about Berzerk that's just very, I don't know.
Well, if you can't put your finger on it, I'd have to say it's the graphics.
Yep.
I mean the graphics for Berzerk, which is odd because the sequel is Frenzy. The Berzerk graphics look cool. The robots look badass. They have those eyes that they almost look like that Battlestar Galactica thing.
Yep.
And they look like robots. Here we're looking at Frenzy, and it looks like a skeleton and like a sewage pump tank or something. Like we're going to hook up the skeleton is going to go clean out your septic tank or something.
Right.
I'm not a fan of what those things look like.
I'm not either. But there are elements of Frenzy I like better. Like I like shooting through the walls. You kind of make your own path that way. Like you said, every couple rooms you have the giant head in the one room, or the master computer, whatever that thing is in a room. So I like kind of the varied elements of Frenzy. I think Frenzy's harder, if I remember right. I didn't get a chance to pop that in today. So I'm much better at Berzerk. I know that.
Well, if we're going to start this comparison thing, one of the biggest problems I have with Frenzy and Berzerk, the originals, and I think the Recharge does an excellent job, is there are a lot of cheap deaths in Frenzy and Berzerk. They will put you in a spot.
Oh, yeah.
You will be completely surrounded by 15 robots, and before you can fart your pants, they've blown your head off.
Yeah.
And so I think this Berzerk Recharged, and I noticed this I noted it in my review, these are not procedurally random mazes. These are mazes that somebody designed and put robots in the spots they wanted them to start the map out with. And that being said, I think the player on Berzerk Recharged has an advantage, or at least it's not as cheap. And I like that better. I think Berzerk Recharged by far is the easiest game of all three.
Oh, yeah, definitely.
It's much easier than the old school Berzerk, and it's much easier than Frenzy.
Right.
And so I will tip my hat, however you do that with a backwards baseball cap, at that. So I like that with the new game. Now I do miss the randomness of the procedurally generated
Right.
mazes, but not that bad. In fact, some of the designs are pretty interesting. But with
they have
Recharged.
they have some good designs. Like you said, it's probably like Haunted House, I believe, isn't it? Where it is random to an extent, but only in the sense that they kind of randomly throw them in an order with maybe some random enemies.
That's exactly right.
Yeah,
the enemies are random. The layout is very random. The boards are all designed.
Right.
Which when I was playing Haunted House, which we both liked, I was freaking out because I thought these rooms were designed, they were designing themselves. And I was like, this is really neat. And then after playing it for so long, you're like, oh, I've been here. But that just tells you there's a lot of different rooms in Haunted House. But now we're really we're
differing.
Yeah.
And I feel like there's a lot less different rooms, at least in the beginning, I guess, of Berzerk Recharged. Do you feel the same way, or?
I do, but I do think each, and I may be wrong about this. This is just what I've discovered, or I think I've discovered. There is I think there are maps for the different sets of 10 mazes. So in Berzerk Recharged, there's like the yellow robots, then you go to the green robots, and then you go to the orange robots, and then you go to the purple robots, and you go to the red robots.
Right.
And I think each one of those groups of 10 have their own rooms.
Right.
Because there is definitely one, I think either with the green or the orange, where it's a very weird looking room where there's like it comes down and there's like this jagged thing. It looks almost like a 2600 game. Almost looks like somebody mentioned Crystal Castles. It looks like a Crystal Castles from the 2600 map. And that's only available on an advanced room. So I do think there's probably a whole bunch of maps. They just
right.
And again, sorry, go ahead.
No, yeah, I don't even think I've seen that one yet. But I think I've only made it to purple so far. As the farthest I made it. But I only play with all 3 handicaps on, so I get hit once and I die. So,
what's the matter with you, Jolt?
That.
Anyway, we're 7,800 people anyway. I'll never bust your balls about having that system hooked up. Me and John are the apostles of that system.
Right. Oh, absolutely. Yeah.
Because I'll tell you, I like the Atari VCS because it's a mess. And I feel like it's our mess. And it's like,
oh, okay. I thought you were talking. Every time I hear VCS, I still think 2600. So
that's a problem. The problem too. Why did they name it that? They could have named it anything.
Yeah.
Call it the Atari 1 million or something, or another animal like a jaguar or lynx. What's left?
It could have been a panther. It could have been a lion.
Anything. Could have been
cheetah, I guess.
Calico.
Calico. There you go.
Those are popular on the internet.
Atari Stray. Something.
Yes. Unspaded tabby. So what's funny is me and you, when we got together and we're making the Atari 7800 for our website, it's all about the 7800.
Right.
Well, the VCS, man, it was a dud for so long. But since the 50th anniversary started bebopping along last year, it's been about a year, the VCS is trying. And it's interesting to see an animal fight for its own survival, if that makes sense.
Yeah, well, I don't know if it. Do you think they're releasing all those games because they're trying to get more customers, or you think?
Yeah,
of
course.
Okay.
Yes. We'll talk about that in a second. We're still talking about. Me and you disagreed on a public forum, and I think everybody thought we were really mad at each other, which I only punched the wall for a few minutes. If you guys are ordering a lot of 2600 and 7800 carts, man, you guys going to go to our website, Atari7800forever.com. Put that up there on the board there so they can see it. Every game reviewed, except a couple. So we lied, but not, I paid top dollar for a 7800. When was that? Was that new or recently or like in the 80s?
I think that was back in the 80s, I think.
Oh, okay.
I mean, Well, even today though, that you got to pay quite a bit. I'm shocked at how much they go for.
I think they're still
Yeah.
pretty reasonable
Yeah,
compared to
well, I
the good
think
old
a
days.
lot of people would want the modded one and stuff for convenience sake, but I know you roll with the RF, so if you
I
want
roll
just
with
an
you,
RF,
man. I want the
yeah.
lines going through. I can't see what's going on. I blame it on the snow. But yeah, man. And so we've got that's something we should do next podcast if we don't get a guest, is go over the best games you can get for your 2600 plus, because what me and you probably don't realize is this is going to usher in a lot of people who haven't had a
Oh, yeah.
console in forever.
Yep.
So if they go to the flea market
What?
and they get a bunch of crap that's like, bugs and games that suck, they're going to be like, I wasted my money
Well,
on
yeah,
this.
for 2600 stuff, I mean, I can still go to the corner game store and get stacks of carts for $10. But for 7800, I just don't see 7800 stuff out in the wild. So I think anybody that's going to buy 7800 games, they're going to go to eBay and pay a lot of money for them, and they might be disappointed with what they get if they don't check out Atari7800forever.com or the YouTube channel. So,
Ding.
you know.
Yeah, that's a good point. The best games for the 7800 tend to be games that are extremely expensive
Yeah. Yep.
to buy. And if you're somebody who wants to start dipping their toe into the retro scene, the other system, what's the other system called? The game thing? What's it called?
What is it?
The one you told me earlier, the earlier one. We got a 2600.
The Game Station Pro, My
Yeah.
Arcade, Atari.
Game Station Pro may be the way because you can just download the ROMs.
Yeah,
I've never thought ROMs play
No.
nearly as good, even the 7800 games. There's something left to be desired. So I always like the hardcore, hard. I like
Right,
it hard.
And again, with the Game Station Pro too, there's a lot of weird caveats with that. You can't reconfigure the controls at all. You're kind of just stuck with what they are. Even if you plug in PlayStation, what are we up to? 5.4 controller, you're still kind of stuck with whatever it defaults to. So
Okay. Well,
there's a lot of weird little stuff with that thing too.
Well, getting back to the debate at hand, Berzerk Recharged versus Atari 7800's Frenzy.
Yep.
Did you have a chance to look at the multiplayer on Recharged?
No.
I haven't either, because nobody has friends our age. Our friends have all died off.
Right.
There's nobody. Our children are too old to force to play video games with us that they don't.
Yep. They don't like us.
Yes, they don't like us. They think we're all racist, fastest bastards that hate socialism or something. So we can't connect with our children in any way except by giving them money.
Yep. There you go.
But so I can't compare the multiplayer, but the multiplayer, when my kids were young and liked me, I played Frenzy multiplayer with them, and they did not like it, but it was fun to kind of do that together. So that was another attribute of this Frenzy game that Bob made. And I'm not sure what the difference is. So at the end of the day, with the 2600 plus coming out, with the Game Station Pro system out, and the Atari VCS and all the systems, if somebody wanted a Berzerk experience, what would you say is the best Berzerk game to get?
With everything available, I don't know. If you have, I guess I'd say if you have a 7800, I would get Frenzy. And that one's still available, right? Or is it not?
I don't know. Oh, they bought it, didn't they? Let's check real quick.
Yeah.
So I'm going to the Atari. You keep looking pretty, and I'll go to the.
If Frenzy is still available and you have a 7800, I would get that. However, I honestly, I think you're fine either way. I don't think none of these games are terrible. If I had to rank them, I'd probably put Frenzy above Berzerk Recharged, and I'd probably put the 2600 version, as long as the new enhanced one is the original with the enhanced audio, I'd probably put that in the middle if I had to rank the three Berzerk games.
Okay,
But
I'll disagree with you on that. But yes, you can buy Frenzy at Atari7800.com. You can't get a box, but you can get a box through Etsy, and we'll talk about that. But you can get Frenzy for $35 still at Atari age.
Okay.
and then Berzerk
I would
Recharged.
recommend that then.
Berzerk Recharged is $9.99
Much cheaper.
on all the systems. So I would say, if I had to rank them, I would go Atari 7800's Frenzy from our good friend Bob Decrescenzo. Yay.
Okay, so we agree about that.
And if you go to our website and look at the top 10, I've rated that the 9th best game in the library. It's excellent. It's almost a perfect score. It's not quite a perfect score, but it's great. The only problem with it is Frenzy's ugly as shit.
Right.
But Berzerk looks good. So then I would put Berzerk Recharged.
Okay.
Because of the leaderboards, the missions, the glitz, the glam, and the price point is only $9.99. Then I would probably put the, of course, I'm just pulling this out of my butt, the enhanced version, because the robots will shoot in 8 different directions, and you have the voice of the robots.
Well, they shot in 8 different directions in the original too.
No, you did.
Yeah, you did. Oh, the robots do now?
Yes, that's
okay.
2 features of the enhanced version. The robots shoot in 8 directions, which makes the game harder, which the game is not easy. And then the Evil Otto has voice. So
yeah, now I really like that.
Yeah,
that version.
And so
because the 2600 version was not bad by any means. It was a great version of Berzerk.
Yep, it's just 40-something years old.
Right.
And I think Atari could have improved, and I think they did. I think because of the modern accoutrements, it is better than the original Berzerk, but it's probably not what a lot of people wanted.
Right. I'd agree.
And again, I still want everybody to go watch my review, but one of my biggest points about the problem with the Berzerk Recharge, which a lot of people haven't said, is the game itself. Berzerk is, no matter what it looks like or what you're doing, Berzerk is a survival horror game.
Right.
It is. You're slow. You're trying to get from room to room. What are you doing? You're trying to escape this city or this ship or wherever the hell you are. You're trying to get out of there, and you can't. It's like a nightmare. And you've got this indestructible boss chasing you at a slow rate of speed, and it's a horror movie. And when you make the game lightning fast, you turn it into a twin stick shooter where you're just running through going bloom, 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 instead of thinking about, I need to go here and then up this way, which was what makes Berzerk fun. Right. You've changed what Berzerk Recharged is. But again, I would say it's still a very decent game. It's a good game. And everybody, for $9.99, man, try it out.
Yeah, you got to keep that price in mind too, because if you're going to get the 7800 game Frenzy, you're going to pay a lot more. You got to pay shipping too. Don't forget that.
So, and probably tax.
Yep. So yeah, it is a better deal overall, and you're getting a good game no matter which way you cut it.
And there are features with the new game that you don't have with anybody else. So.
Right. Exactly.
So do you want to talk about what we argued a little bit about this week?
Yeah, we can talk about it. How did that come about? Somebody asked if we thought the VCS, not us, but anybody out in the ether, I guess, thought that the VCS had a future or not, I guess. Was that the essence of his question?
I thought it was somebody found photographs of you in a rest stop near Akron,
no, that was
Ohio.
A different argument.
Oh, okay.
We couldn't come on a price, but no, yeah. So
you have your principles. I respect that.
Yeah. Well, so I think you made a comment, and I commented after that essentially the way I see the VCS is they aren't going to kill it anytime soon. There's no reason for them to kill it. But they aren't really promoting it either. If you listen to the and I forget his name, again.
Wade Rosen, I think.
Yeah, Rosen. He doesn't really ever talk about the VCS. It doesn't seem to be a part of the future of the company as he sees it. At least that's the way I take it. I'm just going off of my interpretation of what I've heard and seen from him, which isn't everything he's ever said. But I think the VCS, they'll keep it alive. They'll continue to support it. for a minimum of 2 to 3 years, if not 5. They'll keep the servers up for probably
what? It's going to be around for 2 years, which is what you said on the board. Up to 5.
Up to 5. Yep.
You're not saying anything. The 5 years will make this thing an 8-year-old system. I think that's a success.
They'll support it for as long as people are buying stuff on it. As soon as they're not making any money off it, they're going to drop it, because if we're not buying stuff on it, then obviously nobody's playing it and they're not going to miss it. But they're not. I don't think they're porting games to it to entice people anymore. I think they're just trying to appease the people who have it. I think they just want us to be happy and quiet and in our own corner so they can do what they want to do.
Give them enough bread and circuses and they'll shut the F up.
That's kind of my impression of it right now. I think they're more enthralled with the XP line, the cartridges, the Switch third-party releases, and their clothing. That's obviously doing great. So,
will you allow me to retort?
No. No, go ahead.
Okay. So, I thought you said the thing was only going to be around for 2 years, and that's to me minimum, still a pretty good distance. I mean, I can't understand is everybody now is jumping on this bandwagon when it's the most productive year in the VCS's history.
Right.
It's probably released 70 games this year, because before, maybe not that many, maybe it's more like 50 or 60, but it's by far there's more, and they're releasing 7,800 games on it, and they're releasing 2,600 homebrews on it, and there's games they've been coming out with these games for it, and it looks like they're really keeping up with the 50th anniversary. They're keeping that momentum going.
Yeah.
So right now you've got this little system, which is just basically a Linux computer with wood grain on it.
Yeah.
And it's out there in the ether, and they're still trying to fix it when people have problems with the zip code and all that stuff. And it's still pretty fun. The controller, I've had the system for almost a year. The controllers are still fine. I haven't had God, knock on wood on that. I got to be careful of that. The controllers are fine. I've been playing this thing more and more and more. It's like Obsidian contraption here. Do you work for what is it called? Me Too Games? Somebody contacted me from them. Megan Games or Megton Games, something like that. They made Doodle Taxi. Somebody contacted me. John, we may start getting free copies to review.
Oh, cool.
It just depends on, I don't know. I use the word jive, and I put Black Power Fists in the signature line. He may not, I don't know. The guy may be a racist or something. I don't know. But anyway, I'm just kidding. He seems like a great guy. But my point is, it costs nothing except server costs, basically, at this point.
Oh, yeah. Yep.
To operate the VCS. And you can take a game that Bob Decrescenzo makes and put it on the store and sell it for $6 or $7 or $8 or whatever it is. And that's $8 cash. You don't have to make a cartridge. You don't have to ship anything anywhere. I think it's a no-brainer. And I think it's going to be around a while, because it doesn't Xbox, PlayStation, PCs, the Switch, they're always in this fight for technology and new accoutrements and features and things that make it modern. The Atari people don't give a damn.
No.
They just want a game that's halfway decent and fun to play.
Yeah, they're not trying to keep up with Xbox or PlayStation, not by a mile. But and I agree, it's going to be around. But I don't think. Again, I think the comment that we responded to also asked about production, or I think we brought it up. They've ceased production on the console as of winter of last year. I think it was probably a year ago now,
because nobody's buying it.
Right, exactly.
And they'll continue it when they have a plan in place if it starts to sell again.
Well, here's the thing is, I think they have enough inventory. They know how much they have. They know what their projected sales are. They know what the drop off is at the current rate. If they thought they were going to sell off more than what they had, they'd probably still make them until they reach that point. I think they have such an abundance that they're never going to produce anymore, but that's fine because I think they have more than they can sell, honestly. So as far as that was never doom. People read that as doom and gloom.
Well, if they sell 10,000 units, that's going to be $3 million or more. I wish I failed like that one time in my life. It's never going to be the Switch. It's never going to be the Xbox. It's never was intended to. It's a weird little system for people like us.
Right.
And the thing that I think is see, and this is the thing here. And we're talking about Amazon shipping out the 2600 Plus at the top of the show before Atari does. Atari's got to get their crap together a little bit, man. They've got to get a guy. You know, you were very angry at the VCS. You even flipped off the VCS in your last video because you're like, I can't buy games. I want to give you money to play your games on your system. Allow me to, and it just seems like Atari's like, I don't know.
And you know what's more frustrating is they fixed it 3 times now, and then it breaks almost immediately right after they fix it.
A week or two. And like this fella here, I don't know, maybe you can message him later and tell him what you need to do with the zip code issue, or maybe he's tried it. I don't know.
There's nothing you can do right now.
Well, that's very unlike you. You're normally upbeat.
Oh yeah. Well, if there was something you could do, if that changes, join. There's a great Facebook group if you're on there. What is it? Atari VCS backers and owners. Join that. Keep an eye out on the Discord, but there's nothing you can do right now. I mean, it's just an issue with their credit card processing company, which is actually not them. For once, it's not their fault, but it's their fault for going with that particular processor, I guess.
Yeah, and again, that's just and another thing, I never even told you this. So my Ant Stream Arcade, I bought a year's of subscription for $12. I figured $12.
Oh, that ain't bad.
No, that ain't bad.
$1 a month.
It also said it was going to be completely free, which was a lie. But some features were free, but none of the fun stuff. It erased, for some reason, everything. It doesn't recognize who I am. It doesn't. Really? Yeah. So that brings us to another thing that happened this week. You don't even remember, do you? You big drooling mammoth man. They updated Neo Sprint.
Oh yeah. Yep.
They erased everything that we have accomplished.
I had every paint unlocked, every race, the special cup.
Really?
I had a gold trophy on every single race in the game. Yep. All the
So they updated again. We really aren't sure what is different from this version and last version. They're not really addressing the issues of that game. And so I was so high on Neo Sprint, like Snoop Dogg at a Cypress Hill concert high. I'm about to review that and run that through the GD mud. It has made me so angry.
I feel like they have addressed some things, though. You don't think they've addressed? Have you played it anymore since we talked?
Yes, I can't do shit still on the game.
Okay. I don't know. I like it.
Oh, you like it now. You hated it in the beginning.
Yeah, well, I like it. I think reducing the number of racers from the beginning was a good idea. It made the first cup a lot easier. And you still have a reduced amount of opponents in the second cup. So once you get to the third cup, that's when you have all 7 opponents again, which is hard. But I think they've made some good changes.
There's so many things about that game. The dorky anime characters.
That sucks.
Make them Atari characters. The graphics are generic. We'll live with that. The fact that you're playing a top-down game, and the whole gimmick of a top-down game is it's a puzzle to your brain, right?
Right.
Because you're seeing it upside down, and you've got to go left to go right, depending if your car's turned one way or the other. It's a fucking puzzle. That's the whole gimmick of a top-down racing game.
Yeah,
you're not in the cockpit driving like a regular. It's not a test of your skill. It's a puzzle in a way. And so the androids know, because they live in the machine, and these anime dorks can see out their front window and they're driving, and they don't give you any turbos, they don't give you anything to do to overcome a mistake.
See, I'm fine with that though, because I like Power Drive Rally for the Jaguar, and there's no turbos in that or anything, so I don't think.
But you're playing that game. Oh, Power Drive's top down, isn't it?
Yeah. Yep.
Okay. Yeah. Never mind. Sorry to interrupt you.
No, you're fine.
But and it's not online multiplayer, and they say you can race up to 8 people. Who in the world? This is a Nintendo only or an Atari 70 or Atari VCS only release. Why would they? Is there one human being in the world that's got 8 controllers and 8 friends that's going to play Neo Sprint or House?
I don't know, but I think it'd be fun.
It would be, but wouldn't we end up playing Mario Kart anyway?
Probably. 2600 Jagged is not online multiplayer as far as I've seen. It's 8-player local, like he was saying. So
yeah, 8 controllers, and you got to get 8 modern controllers. How much is that? It's $60 a pop.
Oh my god! But can't you use your cell phone on that? Don't you have the VCS Companion app? Have you ever downloaded that?
No.
Okay, you might be able to use that.
Your cell phone to drive?
Yeah, I'm not saying it'd be good, but you might be able to. Can somebody verify?
The thing is
Obsidian?
hard enough to play in the first place.
Right.
So, so here's my big thing. I did some research on this, Johnny. You're gonna be proud of me. So this is a continuation of the Sprint series from Atari. The old Sprint 2, the Sprint 8, the Sprint 10, the Sprint 12, or whatever. There was a series between that and this. Do you know what that was called?
What is it?
It's okay. You don't have to be an expert on everything.
Yeah, what is it?
Badlands.
Badlands. Okay.
Badlands was an Atari released Sprint redo for the computer systems, which is a post-apocalyptic, like a Mad Max thing where the cars could shoot. It was top down. It played very similar to Ivan, what's his name's Super Off-Road.
Ivan Stewart, wasn't it?
Yeah, there you go. There you go. It played very similar to that, but there were only 3 race cars on the track, and it's superior to this mess. It's got 8. And I think there's too many race cars for this type of game style. The tracks are too narrow. So they got some work to do. If they're not going to give us turbos and real Atari characters to race against.
Yeah, I don't think they're going to change the characters. They haven't shown any signs of that.
They need to listen to me.
I think that is what they did change some of the designs, but it's still the same. I mean, it's still the same.
They've jacked up some of the if you go on the game, at least on mine, the first race, the little map, you know how it shows the little stupid ass anime person going, Yatta! Yeah. It shows the 4 maps. The maps aren't correct with the courses you're about to race.
Oh, really?
Yeah. I mean, get your crap together, man. All right, what do we got in the chat here? I feel like we've blown over. We've just been talking like old.
Yeah,
wives.
There's been a lot going on in the chat. Real quick, let me see. Somebody got ET in the mail. Somebody
was that a threat? Do you need to call the police?
Somebody.
Wait a minute, John. If you sent somebody with no note an ET Atari 2600 cartridge in the mail, would you start locking your doors?
I think he pulled it out of the landfill or something, because the next comment was it has a future in the landfill with the ET carts. I think he was talking about the VCS.
So I'll take them. Don't throw those away. I like it.
No, yeah, they make good little computers, actually.
I think they look cool too. I love it.
ET is it? There was a lot of ET chat for a while.
Oh God, were we that boring?
I guess so. They were selling less games because of the VCS store zip code glitch. A lot of people hoping the VCS continues.
Good.
See, it's been a stellar year for the VCS, according to Jerome, which it has. It really has been a good year.
I don't know if stellar is the right word.
I think compared to the others.
It's a definite improvement. I will go with you on that one.
Obsidian said, he works at Met Gan Games, and they did do Doodle Taxi.
I've got a review. That one glitched out on me too, Obsidian. I got to tell you about that.
Jerome said the VCS is as good of a console as he's ever owned.
Well, we've talked about this before. For an Atari system, it's got more games than any console except for the 2600.
Yep, that's crazy in itself.
Yeah.
This is a good point here. 2600 Jag said he sent 12 technical support requests and gave up on it. That's Atari's weakness there, is I've done something similar. I probably sent about maybe half a dozen technical support requests and just in general filled out the contact field, and they take forever to get back with you, if at all. So I think their customer service needs, if they're listening, I love everything Atari, but you need to ramp up customer service. It's shockingly bad.
Oh, hate
see.
hearing that. That's not good.
Neo Sprint is an early release.
Yes, so it's not done yet.
No,
so maybe they'll keep working on it.
I think they will too. I think that's the plan.
Keep listening to me and John. Whoever's people at Atari need to listen to this stuff.
Let's see. We answered the online multiplayer. I didn't buy Neo Sprint, but I want to. But it looks like it has control issues. Would you say it has control issues, or it's just? I think the controls themselves are fine.
Did you play? Can you play it with the classic controller? I can't remember.
Not very well.
Okay. Yeah, I think that's a problem.
Yeah.
Does it have control issues? I don't think I think the thing controls fine. It's just it's not an easy game, It's like I said that it seems like they go crazy with these long ass courses with tons of crazy turn. The thing at the bottom when it does this where you can kind of go straight.
Yeah.
But if you make a little tiny mistake and you rub it and you bounce backward.
Bounce off, yep.
And then they'll start putting overhangs and shit to obscure your view. I mean,
I don't like that.
There's some cheap stuff in the game, which is fine. But again, give us some turbos to make up the mistakes. That's how I'd program it.
To round off the comments here, Jolt said he's going to finally cave and get one, and that will trigger the death of the VCS.
That sounds like that's an old Atarian right there.
Exactly. Jerome said that's fine. It's worth taking the risk.
Oh, this is great. This is great. I got about 15 more minutes I can talk, but a great topic.
Right.
If the VCS, like this is a continuation or the conclusion of what we're talking about. If the VCS died tonight, no more support, would it be worth buying for the library it has now?
Well, you mean like they left the servers up, but they wouldn't, because once the servers are gone, it's basically just a paperweight unless you do the PC mode.
So you have to be online to play those games?
I don't know. Have you ever tried to play them offline?
I've been scared to. Yeah, I can. Yeah, because I live in Tennessee on a mountain, man. I lose internet all the time.
So yeah, if you already downloaded your games and stuff, is it worth just keeping around for that? Is that what you're saying?
Is there enough in the library to warrant, what is it now, a $300 price tag?
Yeah, it's $300. Yeah. No.
Not yet.
No, well, here's the other thing that bugs me is we know, like you said, Roller Coaster Tycoon, the new one, didn't come out on this thing. And Lunar Lander, I guess, isn't coming out. That's what bugs me.
I have no idea. Like Lunar Lander is made for that, man.
Right? Yeah. Oh yeah, I'd love to play that on the VCS. Why is that not on the VCS?
It's not like it's a Starfield sequel or anything. It's a, if you look at it, it's a 2D type game, just like everything else.
I'd almost say, for that reason alone, I don't know. I don't want to say nothing I can't take back.
Are you afraid of the Atari Mafia? They can't even get the zip code. So.
But yeah. Yeah.
They can't even fix the zip code on the credit card processor. Yeah, I don't think they're driving out to Toledo.
Right.
But
Nope.
if Atari, if you want his address, I can
There you
supply
go.
that for you.
Oh, I guess there is mixed rumors about Lunar Lander coming to the VCS. VCS does have limited storage. A comment just said that, but I plugged in a USB hard drive into it, and I have like another 100 gigs on there. So
These types of games, that should not really be a problem with anybody.
yeah, you can plug in physical storage and they work fine. So, but yeah, I'd almost recommend to anybody if you want to play these games, just get a Switch. That's
A
the
vast
sad-
majority of them are, and they go on sale, I think, more too.
more often. Yep.
Again, going back to my video on Big and Funky Productions YouTube page,
Yep.
the honest look of the honest review of an Atari VCS. This system's all about the classic controller. That's what the difference is, because you can use it as a paddle, and it makes games like Breakout Recharge, which I think Breakout Recharge is terrible, except if you're playing with classic controller, then I think it's great.
Yep.
And there's games like Yara's Revenge, Recharged, that you can play, and it's great. So
yep. Yeah, the classic controller is the selling point. If you want that old, like you said, the 2600 controller feel with a modern twist.
Yeah, well, just spinner controls. You can play Tempest games on it. You can play Major Havoc. You can play anything with the ball and bat games or whatever they call them, which makes me wish they would hurry up on a Crazy Bricks from Bob Decrescenzo.
Yeah, that'd be great
if they could do it with the little paddle gimmicks.
Gravatar.
Gravatar's fantastic. I'm going to do a review of Gravatar before Christmas because, to be honest, I'll tell you guys, since you're all my closest friends and you guys have already subscribed to my channel, and I know that you like all of my videos, but Gravatar is the best game that you can get on the system, in my opinion.
Yeah, it's one of the best. I think Atari 50th collection is probably the best.
Now you got to be, so now you're taking 100 games versus the one.
Right, exactly, yeah. I was just going to say that, just for the sheer number of games. But also, I enjoyed watching the interviews and stuff on there. It was fun.
I bet you were a kid that was first in line at the museum on field trips, weren't you?
Sometimes.
He had suspenders and a weird hat.
And a pocket protector. Yep.
Were you a nerd?
Yeah, for most of up through junior high, and then I got in a lot of trouble. I fell in with the wrong crowd at that point.
Gotcha.
Yeah, but yeah.
What about all these other comments here? What are we saying?
We addressed the storage, Lunar Lander, mixed things coming to the VCS. I hope it does come to the VCS. We need to make a stink about that. Classic controller makes the VCS, which again I think we both agree with.
Yes, Jerome.
I would marry Gravatar Recharged, so I think he agrees with you.
That's the best game on the system.
Yeah, you're probably individual game. You're probably right. And wish they would make a trackball controller.
Man, that would be sweet, man. Can you imagine?
Yeah.
I mean, I'm talking Crystal Castles Recharged. I mean, good grief. Millipede Recharged. You could do it because they've already done Centipede. Yes, the dog wants to play Millipede.
Yep.
But yeah, what's another good trackball game, dude? Oh, Rampart Recharged.
And then Crystal Castles.
They don't own that anymore. I forgot. But
yeah, they have Crystal Castles, right?
Crystal Castles Recharged.
Yeah.
With a trackball controller, with all the stuff they could come up with, would be badass, dude.
That would be. But where is Food Fight Recharged? That's one we need.
That's the thing I'm telling you, is there's so much good with the Atari. If they can go back and get Battle Zone, and if they can buy the Midway Atari games systems, the arcade, Zybots and stuff like that. I mean, and Vindicators and Paperboy and Rampart and Clax. Good grief, man! Marble Madness, like Obsidian just said.
Right.
Recharged. Marble Madness is still one of the most popular games in history. Everybody that knows me that's younger is like, oh, I like Marble Madness because they know I like Atari because they remember seeing the Atari Games logo on it.
Right. Battle
Right.
Zone.
Battle Zone.
BPM. What's BPM, boy?
That is beats per minute,
Oh, that
boy. And
yeah.
somebody told me that was one of the only, if not the only, exclusive for a long time on the VCS.
I seen that. That's right. Yeah.
And somebody said, since I'm a funk guy, I should definitely play that game and review it. If anybody is associated with that game, you give me a redemption code, I will review it in
It's
3 or 4
pretty.
days.
Yeah, it's what, a $20 release on there? It's one of
It
the more
is,
expensive ones.
but it's also one of the most advanced.
I was going to say, it looks nice, too.
Yeah, it looks like a good game. Missile Command was my favorite. Oh, that's a trackball game too, dude.
Yep, that'd be a great one.
Yeah, man. Oh, and we talked about this before, John, but on the 50th edition, the 50th anniversary celebration game, they have a Jaguar version of Missile Command, which is surprisingly awesome.
Oh, yeah. That's a fantastic version. What I like about that is all the different modes. You have the classic mode, the one mode that was intended to be like a virtual reality mode where you're actually sitting inside the turret or the tower, and then Missile Command 3D. That's a great game.
Yeah, it really is.
I was glad to see that on there because if you have a Jaguar, that's like $100+ game too.
Well, the music's good. The music reminds me of GoldenEye for the N64. It's like,
yep.
You know,
and there's a lot of cool Easter eggs in that Missile Command 3D too. You have like a dragon that flies through and just all kinds of nods to Atari.
Really hard to. That's good. I didn't even think about that. It's a really hard game at some point, but it's great.
It is hard. Yeah.
Now, if they put Mean 18 Ultimate Golf on the VCS for $3, that would be a great deal for a lot of people who's always wanted to play that game.
Think they'll reach out to Peter and Lance over there.
Video 61.
Yeah, and get putt 18.
I don't know because Peter has kind of a stink with Atari Age or something, or people hate him there. I'm not sure, but now that Atari's part of Atari Age, I don't know, but I hope so. I mean, I always
why
not? It's my movie on Tubi. Did we talk about my movies yet? Okay, anyway. My movies are, 2 of them are on Tubi and 2 of them are about to be released. One's called The Hike, and that's the director's cut. That's what we want you to watch. And the one WJHC-AM is about my life moving down south and trying to work in a Southern Gospel radio station. That's on Tubi as well. We just released one called Camp Smoky. We're releasing 6 about the legends and lore of the Great Smoky Mountains. And then there's another one that we're very closely associated with called Vinny's Fantastic Rock and Roll Adventure. John knows I went throughout the I'm sorry to bore you there, John. I was just telling you about my awesome Route 66 trip that we shot a movie, and it's gotten lots of. Yeah, you all right? No, you are a jerk.
I'm just
kidding. This was like a life-changing trip, and I found God, but I guess it doesn't matter to John.
No, it did. It looks great to me.
And it's actually, we've done a couple premieres, and the audiences, dude, are like sideways laughing, dude. I think you'll love that Vinny movie a lot.
Yeah, it looks funny.
It's good.
And that's the second time I saw your butt was on that trailer, I think.
Is my butt on the trailer in that one?
Was it? Somehow I saw your butt on one of them.
Well, in WJHC, they show my ass.
Right, but don't you show it in Vinny's Fantastic?
I'm shirtless a lot in that movie.
Maybe that's what
people love seeing me without my shirt on. I have no idea why. I do not have the body for it.
Yeah, well, neither do I.
And John put up WJHC-AM. People like The Hike. In fact, it's weird. And we'll quit talking about my movies here because we're talking about Atari. This week alone, I picked somebody up. They were watching The Hike as I picked them up because I run a taxi cab company and a medical transportation company in town. And when they got in the car, I was like, hey, you like that movie, The Hike? And the guy was like, what's that? And he didn't even know what he was watching. But it was like he didn't recognize me. I was fighting a giant in that movie. And then some lady I picked up was like, I like that movie. She recognized me. She goes, "Oh, you're that movie with the witch." And I'm like, "Oh, you mean the hike?"
There you go.
But anyway, type up WJHCAM so they know that's the one that got like really great reviews. So
I was
they're
looking
all
for my physical copy, but
oh, look at you! You
I
probably
can't ever...
lent it out. All these people wanting to see it.
Right, exactly. Here we go. And nope, that's the wrong one. Why didn't that change? Hold on. There we go.
There you go. That stands for Jesus H. Christ. So.
Yep.
But anyway, thank you for your interest on that. And you can also subscribe to my channel, Big and Funky Productions. Since John is monetized, I've been doing this for 20 years, and you've just started. But seriously, congratulations on that. You deserve it, man. You putting out a lot of good quality content. And, you were really trepidatious about getting into the whatever this is, having a YouTube channel, streamers or something, I guess they call it. And you've done a great job. Your graphics are good. Your videos are good. I guess everybody here knows that. But anybody watching on my channel, this thing, go subscribe to John, the Atari Network. And it's got baby blue and yellow, which are the colors of my taxi company. So
is it really?
Yeah. So it's we're actually going to paint our house baby blue and yellow to match the taxi cabs. So
there you go. Southside Sox fan. I'm sorry, I was going to say sax fan.
He sucks fan.
Yeah. Apologies for the late join. Is Frenzy better than Berzerk Enhanced?
Let's just say it's just like the Cubs and the Sox. They both stink. No, I'm just kidding. It's no, they hey, there you go. And then Camp Smokey's coming out any day now, and also the Vinny's Fantastic Rock and Roll Adventure movie. I will say that John and I we ranked these. There's like 4 iterations of Berzerk we ranked.
Yeah.
We all agree that Frenzy for the 7800 is the best, even though it's the most expensive at this point. Second would be Berzerk Recharged, which we say has a lot of great attributes to it, including the leaderboards and missions, and it's only $9. We're assuming the Berzerk Enhanced with the 8 directional bullets from the robots and also the additional Evil Auto voice is third. And fourth is the Berzerk for the Atari 2600. We're not including the arcade version because, nobody's going to go out and buy that. But I will say all 4 of those are good games. And you will not lose. But I think Frenzy takes the cake a little bit.
Yeah, I would agree with that. Yeah, Frenzy's definitely the top. Thank you to Wood and Sis and Jerome. Thank you for the congrats. And yeah, I would agree. Atari Network.
Yeah, who's that? Your wife's on the other computer.
Yeah, right.
Robert D. Yes, Robert D. with another win. I think everybody needs to go talk to Robert. I think he's a little down right now. I don't know why. He's out of the scene a little bit.
Is he?
A little bit. I think I think he comes and goes, but I think he gets, I don't know. I think he takes things like somebody will say something about his game and it hurts his feelings. He's an incredibly talented guy. So
yeah, he's very talented. And yeah, if you have a 7800, I mean, anything that says Pac Man Plus is almost always good.
Which is his nickname.
Yep.
Yeah.
Yep. So
anybody else?
Let's see. Berzerk Recharge is weird. I wanted to like it.
It's good. Go and seriously, yes. And so again, I know I've been talking about my channel. I have a review. See if you agree with my review. Sometimes when I see somebody with a review and they reflect the way that I feel, it makes me feel validated or something. I don't know, like I'm not crazy.
And Obsidian wants to know where can he reach out to Bob since.
I would go to the Atari Age forums, AtariAge.com forums, and go to the 7800 and don't make it weird. Like, hey, Vinny, Funkmaster V said you're suicidal, but just say, man, we appreciate you. You should do that with everybody anyway. Every human being in your life, people you work with, your family, your friends, you should tell them all the time, I appreciate
you. Appreciate it. Yeah.
Can you loan me $20 to next Tuesday? Yeah, then hit Bob up for money. I think he does have money. We can do that.
Maybe a little bit, yeah. But no, yeah, probably Atari Age. I think there's a thread. What thread is it? There's one
I
where
have no idea. Keep Bob from jumping off a higher wall. I don't know what you're talking about.
No, on the forum there, 7800 forum, he has a thread I know he hangs out in because it's all his games are in that thread. So if you want to reach him, you might want to,
It's on the 7800 part, and since they took and this may be why they took a lot of Bob's games out of the store, and he's released them for free for anybody that's got any of those Game Drive carts or Dragonfly.
Right. Let's see. Obsidian just wanted to talk 7800 to him. Southside fan says, I think it's okay if you make it weird. Sometimes. Depends how weird they are.
I always make it weird, baby. It's always funky, and it's always got a weird. Man, it's like falling up the steps, baby. That's how it's funky over here. We always make it weird.
Any Tower Toppler news?
Good God, is that somebody trying to piss me off against you, or news about Tower Toppler? Did you beat my world record?
No.
Okay.
I think at one time I said I was going to. And that might be what he was referring to. I have not made any progress.
They're not gonna. Tower Toppler's owned by HAL or some other company. They're never gonna release it on VCS.
It's I forget the name of the company now, but
best 7800 game they made, in my opinion.
It is very underrated.
Unbelievable. I can't. If people are always like, I don't like it. Here's
the other thing. Like Obsidian just got Tower Toppler cart. I know there was a few other people that said they got it. If you put in the cart into the 2600 plus and it starts cycling through the levels, it's not broken. Do not, because I see like at least once a year I see somebody jump on. And,
what's wrong with this damn thing? If you put the Tower Toppler cart in your machine and it keeps the little man keeps coming, or the little frog dude keeps coming out of his sub to go into a new castle or tower, it's because you've got your difficulty switches. One of them's to the right. You got to flip them to the left. It is a secret code to where you can practice the tower that you're having a hard time with. So it's like a level select.
Yeah, it is a nice feature, that's for sure. And I think Vinny should buy the rights to Tower Toppler.
I would love to.
It can't be very expensive.
Oh, I'm sure I'm sure I've got enough here laying around to buy.
Yeah, give him.
I'll reach out. What would I do with it?
Sit on it.
Just rub my body with the fucking paperwork.
You get that, and then you contact Atari and say, "Hey, I think I got something you might want." And then, boom, Tower Toppler Recharged, featuring Vinny.
Yeah, I can put my face on the main character
instead of the little
big
frog
afro.
Guy.
Yeah, little afro, make him like a funk man.
Yep. You pull up in a taxi and jump out and hop up a skyscraper.
Have it change the music to something with a bass riff in it. Dun, 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 dun. Yes.
It's not broken is a suspicious observation. It's not.
It's not. It's just bent. It's got a weird bend in it.
Right.
I've never had any complaints.
Yeah, they say they like it.
But they always are crying afterward. Well, brother, I think we made a great case.
Yeah.
I don't want anybody to beat my score. That's the thing. No.
Yeah, you don't want to encourage it. I will give $5 to anybody that beats Vinny's score.
I got to tell you something. We'll do something for my birthday coming up. We'll say if anybody can beat my world record, which isn't that tough to beat, I don't think. But if anybody can beat my world record at Twin Galaxies, I will give away something from the funk.
From your house?
And from the mothership up here.
Okay. Yeah, there you go.
Why am I doing that? You're going to break my score and take my shit? Well, that's a terrible idea. That's a terrible idea.
Can I get your one-of-a-kind Ricky Vicky prototype cart?
Oh, you mean this?
Yeah. Can I? Let's see it.
Check this out. My one-of-a-kind Ricky and Vicky prototype.
How many colors is on that cart?
It's a red, it's green and red. It would be good for Christmas if you wanted to win this. I'm not giving that away. Are you kidding me? You know what? I think I think I need to give Tellchow a thank you. I don't Tellchow, if you ever watch this, thank you. I don't know if I ever thanked you.
I don't know if he watches our stuff.
Well, why would they? Why would he?
Jerome looked at Tower Tippler, which is another fantastic game. He didn't get it yet. I mean, it's a game a lot of people. I've heard a lot of people say they don't like it. So
they're stupid. I mean, that's the only. There's no. See, here's the thing. I gotta go. I got people I gotta collect and slap. But Jerome, this is the thing. When you were an Atari, see, I need to get Super Star Shooter. I'd love to review it.
Not bad. Yeah.
Somebody shoot me some stuff. Give me a redemption code and I'll review the damn thing. So, Tower Toppler, you're a kid. You're my age.
Yep.
I don't have a Nintendo. I'm an Atari guy.
Yep.
And okay, I got Miss Pac-Man. Okay, I got Xevious. Okay, I got this. I got Food Fight. That's pretty cool.
Yeah.
Shoplifter I had. Pole Position 2. But Tower Toppler was the only adventure that an impossible mission. And when you learned that impossible mission couldn't be beat, Tower Toppler was the only thing for years, the 7800, where it was this adventure. You could defeat the game, even though the ending sucked.
Yep.
And it was a great challenge. Beautiful graphics. So many colors flying around. Parallax scrolling.
Yeah,
unbelievable.
Great.
It's it's one of the best 7800 games still. I'd put that up there with Ricky and Vicky. I bet if you put people who didn't know, you play Tower Toppler and Ricky and Vicky, and you let them watch it, they'd be like, oh shit, man, I don't know which one looks better. I bet a lot of people would vote for Tower Toppler.
It does look good.
And you can't emulate it. The emulating looks terrible, by the way. You got to play it on the system.
And then late at night, you used to play Tower Tippler, right? After that.
Well, that's we used to call it pocket pool down here, but I don't know.
All right, guys. Obsidian has to run. So does Benny. I think we've tackled a couple topics, Tower Toppler and Tippler included. So, anything, Benny, that you want to say before we kick off here?
If you're not subscribed to me, it's Big and Funky Productions on YouTube. If you're not subscribed to John, it's the Atari Network. Subscribe to both, like our videos, put the notifications on. You'll get notified when we do our podcast.
Oh, yeah.
We have reviews and stuff, and that way you can kind of join in. I think this thing is so much fun. John's done such a great job building his, and congratulations again, but you've done such a great job building your mountain of fans or followers or whatever, that we actually can have a lot of fun in this chat. And I look forward to this. I've been a part of a lot of podcasts. I do not look forward to a lot of these things. This one's fun because we're talking Atari, and
here you go,
and
man.
We're having a good time. How to sub to the other?
Yeah,
my if I'm the other guy, John, you ever thought I'd be called the other guy?
I don't think he's talking about you. I don't know.
He's on your thing. He's not on mine. He's not on mine. My channel has a bunch of old women that watch my pro wrestling matches and stuff.
Oh, that's right.
Yeah, it's bigandfunkyproductions.com. So anyway.
All right.
Love you, man. Thank you.
It's been a lot of fun, guys. Great show.
And congratulations, man.
Congratulations, man. All right.
Figure out where you're going to spend that 58 cents.
Later, guys.
See ya.